What's up guys? This is a quick video about the new Unitree PUMP MAX, which is not this thing. If you don't know, Unitree are a robotics company. They have taken the motors from their robotic devices and applied them to a smart fitness device. Now this was their first creation. This is called the Pump Pro, which is their first smart weight, which I'll get into in a minute. And they are just launching their new Pump Max, which is their latest iteration, and essentially is an electronic weight that allows you to go up to 70 kilos each. So it can replace potentially a lot of gym equipment. In this video, I'm going to unbox it, I'm going to have a look at it, I'm going to try it out and let you know how it is. There's one. There's two. There's number three. Holy moly, that's a lot of stuff. A lot of packaging. So it looks like we have pump number one, pump number two. Looks like under here we have the board, the platform that allows you to bolt the pumps onto, so you can do squats. And yeah, I'd say this is the bar that allows you to do squats and whatnot. Box number two. Let's have a look. So we have more packaging and more packaging. We have a leg holder of some sort. We have a toolkit. We have what looks like the bars for the rack. Oh yes. We have what looks like a little holder for your legs. We have what looks like part number one. Awesome. Part number two that has the mount on it. That's a lot of stuff. Number three, the other end to the mount. And two. Okay, without further ado, let's have a look. So, under the lid, got a barcode, some instructions, got a bit of packaging, and there she is. Spin around so you can have a good look. So, from what I can see, we have the unit itself. Let's try and get this bad boy out. Not particularly easy. That is pretty heavy. So we have the attachment on the back. We have the pulley. I believe that, yeah, that releases the battery. And then we have a power button. Nice. From there we have what looks like a handle. I can open this. There we go. And the last thing in the box is the power cable. So there's the power block and the plug. Does not come with a UK plug. I'm sure it will when it eventually ships. But saying that, it's a pretty standard power pack, so it's pretty easy to get a lead for where you are. Alrighty, so next up, let's have a look at putting the power rack together. I looked at the manual, as everyone does, right? And it comes with a little toolkit from an assortment of essentially a load of bolts and some Allen keys. The rack itself comes in 3 different pieces. So we've got this top piece, which has some measurements on it, which we'll get to in a bit. We have this bottom piece, and finally in the middle we have the attachment, or the bit with the attachment on it. Very simply, this slots in to this rack, so it should, if it wants to, slots right in, there we go. And then we've got to put in these 12 screws, and then we have to put the top piece in, which has a pin that goes through these 2 holes up here. So I'll quickly do that. So just to quickly point out what I'm doing here, you can see on this top piece it has some measurements on it. So you want to go for the measurement that is closest to the height of your ceiling, but without being taller than it. So you want it just shorter than your ceiling, and you'll see why in a minute. And then you have these pins. There's just 2 pins that go through the side here into these holes, screw in to hold it in place. Once you have the rack set up to the right height, it is simply a case of maneuvering it into position for wherever you want it. Once you have decided where you want it to go, you essentially twist it into place. So it's got a big bolt underneath it, and you just keep twisting it and twisting it and twisting it until it's solid. But by all means, please make sure you have somewhere solid on the ceiling and the floor to push into. It does need a decent amount of tension to stop it from moving at all. They're pretty tight. Give it a good shake. Solid. Okay. There's one. Now to do the other. So just to show you how I've got this set up, I've already put one of the pumps up, but I'll show you how I did that in a moment. I've got the 2 power racks spaced just over 1 meter apart. I thought that would be a good amount for squats and deadlifts and whatnot, to give us enough space to work between the bars. I've got the bar set up over there. Now I'm going to attach the second pump. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then we'll get stuck into actually using it and some exercises. When it comes to attaching the unit, super simple. You see you've got the mount at the back with this red locking lever and just a little latch on the side here. So given the shape of this, you kind of just hook it into one side, make sure the latch is on, and then you just lock it in place. Like so, make sure it clicks in, pull the lever down, and we're good to go. On the side of this, you see you've got this pin, which makes moving the whole unit up and down super easy. The mechanism on the back here also allows the unit to rotate, so depending on what exercise you're doing, gives you just a nice bit of versatility to move around. So, you know, if you're setting it down low and you want it up, you can make sure you're doing pulling exercises up, and vice versa from the top. You can twist it around or whatever. On the side here, you've got the power button. To turn the unit on, you just hold it down for a few seconds, the lights turn on, and it resets itself, little beep, we're good to go. It feels really solid, I have to say. It's quite heavy, I think it's about 10 kilos, so over 20 pounds per unit, but given that it allows you to do over 70 kilos of resistance, it's pretty insane. I don't know if you'd be traveling with this in terms of how you'd actually use it on the go and the attachments and whatnot. As a quick comparison versus the pump, the original one, this is significantly bigger. This is the original pump, so you can see it is significantly bigger, but this can only do up to 20 kilos, whereas this does 70 massive difference. And for what I'm using it for, so I'm in my personal training studio where I train clients, I train myself. I think this is actually going to be way more useful than this for my clients and for professional use. 20 kilos is great if you're on the go and you don't have any other option, but it's quite limiting when you need a little bit more weight. With two of these going up to 140 kilos, there's not going to be many exercises that I'm going to need more weight than that. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in and see what it feels like. Just before we get stuck in, I forgot to mention that the other pump came with this in the box, which is the remote. Now it's a nice little simple device, but actually it makes it really simple to use these pumps. You've got this big button on the side, which if you hold it down, powers it on. It also functions to engage and disengage the pumps. So when it's blue on the screen like this, the pump is disengaged, which means I should be able to quite easily pull this cable, which is quite nice. It means you can get the bar or the handle or whatever into the position you want. If I press the button again, it turns red, and now it is engaged and is set to the weight that I want it on. Buttons on either side, you can see I can super easily adjust the weight here. So just up and down as you please. This button in the middle, it helps you go through the different modes. It helps you to change from high and low ratio, so it gives you the full range of the weights. And also if you tap it, it presets the length of the cable. So for example, if I pull this out, if this is the position I want to start in, I press the button, it's going to pull a little bit, I hold it there, and now it's going to stay at that length, which actually is surprisingly useful. That's about it for the remote. It also has this clip on it, which can attach onto the bars or anything you're using, which means you can have access to it whilst you're working out, which is surprisingly handy. Okay, so in this video, I'm not going to go through loads and loads of exercises. I'm just going to give a quick demonstration as to how it works. I'll do another video where I'll break down all the different things you can do with it. Essentially, you're swapping out anything you do with free weights, anything you can do with a cable. You can pretty much do everything with these. I've been playing around for a little bit now, and I am pleasantly surprised. I have to say, they are particularly useful. The weight they go up to, it says 70 kilos, it actually feels like heavier than that. It is insanely strong. I am super impressed, because especially like I said, the other unit, the little pumps, the first ones only went to 20 kilos. You can very quickly max that out on some exercises, where these, I actually can't max them out on things like lat pull downs, and I'm super impressed. So I'll quickly show you a few things and then we'll wrap it up. So there we have it. There is the initial setup and everything for the new Pump Max. I have to say, I am not easily impressed with a lot of things. These have been pretty damn good so far. I'm super impressed with the weight that they got up to, and just the overall build quality of them. They seem like they will last, and I really do hope they do. But one last thing to point out, on the remote, when I got the pumps out of the box, I didn't even have to sync this. It was automatically connected to both pumps. If I just use one pump, it knows I'm only using one. If I turn the second one on, it connects straight away and allows me to control both of them at once. So it's really seamless, super easy to use, and it's just a great experience. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to try out these a lot more in my workouts. I'm going to try loads of different exercises. If there's anything in particular you'd like me to try, please do let me know and I'll see what I can do. I will put together some more information on all the exercises, everything you can do with them, and I'll feed back to you. But for now, that is all. I'll see you soon. Ciao.